Hello and welcome back to Nerdog Podcast, episode 84. And today we're gonna talk about the Trouble Production Killer Party from 1986. But before we do that, we're gonna check on the crew. I got Blue and Zombie with me here. How are you guys doing?
Both good and bad, I would say. So I'm pretty neutral.
Understandable. I have pancakes. I'm happy.
Okay.
Lucky.
The small things in life.
Yeah, I really wished I had back issues at the moment. Okay.
How about you?
Yes, it sounded like you said, I wish I had back issues at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like, okay.
That was the exact thing I said.
Oh. Well then, what kind of back issues do you want, is the question.
The really painful ones. Okay, have you guys catched anything? Zombie, you did you watch Battle Royale?
I did, actually. And it's not really what I expected, but I liked it. A bit many characters to keep track of, to like actually connect with any of them, to like have an impact of their demise and whatnot. But yeah, it was a solid piece. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, but
Besides that I stole it from you.
yeah, you bastard. I was gonna pick it. I had it on number 1 for like the longest time. But yeah.
We all gave it a thumbs up, so
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's a recommended movie. For sure. I did not understand the requiems at the end, but yeah. I guess you'll have to watch it more than once to get that.
Yeah. Have you catched anything else?
Actually, I have gone back to my old ways, so no.
Okay. That's alright. Blue, have you catched anything?
Besides that, I'm rewatching Bones again. I did get the like heebie-jeebies for a horror movie, so I watched Hide and Seek. It's about a widower who is trying to reconnect with their child.
Yeah, he's like a
Psychiatrist of some sort.
yeah, exactly.
And things doesn't really pan out the way he wants it to. This was a third time rewatch for me. Our mutual friends, Dan, recommended it to me in high school, I think. High school, early college. I watched it, kind of enjoyed it. Didn't at the time really understand it though. Like, I didn't really understand like what was going on.
There's a twist at the end.
Yeah, it's a massive twist. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? Second time I watched it, I was like, oh. Third time now when I watched it, like I knew everything, but still going into it, like, I wasn't really thinking too much while going into it, and I was like, yeah, I know the twist, but I'm still gonna watch it because it's a good movie. It was way better than I remember it to be. Like, the child did an amazing job at their role. And I, for the longest time, thought it was Robbie Williams playing the dad. It is not.
I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he's a really big actor.
Yeah, I think his name is Daniel or something.
What was the movie again?
Hide and
Hide and
Seek.
Seek.
2005.
Yeah.
It is Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, Robert De Niro. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great actor. Anyway, so yeah, if you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. But yeah, that's the only thing I've watched because it was one of those like I haven't watched this in ages. Kind of want to rewatch it, see if I really liked it or not. We're probably this is definitely like something we're gonna talk about at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, if you haven't watched it, go watch it before we talk about it and spoil it for you.
I've seen that movie once, and that was over 10 years ago. I still remember the twist.
Hmm.
And I remember the movie to be really good, but yeah, I have to rewatch it to give
Yeah.
any further thoughts about it. Okay, so the things I've been watching is a low budget sci-fi horror movie from 1988. Some sources say 1989.
Hmm.
It's called Moontrap,
Hmm.
starring Walter Koenig. I think his last name is pronounced like that. He has been in the Star Trek franchise since the beginning. I kind of guess.
Hmm.
I can't remember the character's name, but
What did you say the movie was named?
Moontrap.
Moontrap. Alright, I'm gonna look this up because I'm a big fan of
Well,
Starcraft. Not Starcraft.
yeah,
Star Trek.
yeah. And it also stars Bruce Campbell of the Evil Dead franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie is about Walter Koenig and Bruce Campbell. They're playing two astronauts that stumbles upon a abandoned spacecraft
That's
during
pretty
a routine mission, and they find a egg-like capsule of something of some sort, and the remains of one of the crew members.
Mm.
And when they have returned to Earth, they discover that the remains are 14,000 years old, and they are humanoid.
Hmm.
And they track the spacecraft back to the moon. And this egg-like thing turns out to be a war robot, which can build its own body with metal and human remains.
Hmm.
neat.
So Walter and Bruce goes to the moon, and yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say about the plot. The movie in itself is, like I said, low budget.
Hmm.
And I kind of guess it suffers from that because they basically have a 45-minute script which they have dragged out to 90 minutes, and because they didn't really have the budget for it, there are a lot of stretches where they're just going from point A to point B, and you get to see them walk or drive a moon car or whatever it's called. So there's a lot of filling in there, but
Mm.
the idea of the movie is really fucking cool, and I wish they had a bigger budget so there would have been a bit more action in it.
His name is Walter Quain. He played Pavel Chekhov in the Star Trek movies and the TV series.
Yeah,
He's
I think his last name is pronounced Koenig.
yeah, he's a great actor. I really
Yeah,
liked him in Star Trek.
but both Walter and Bruce are really good in the movie.
Mm.
But the shortcomings are the budget, I kind of guess. And after I had watched Moontrap, I sat down and watched the 2017 sequel, Moontrap Target Earth, starring Sarah Butler, who appeared in the remake of I Spit on Your Grave and the second sequel to that remake. Moontrap Target Earth might be the worst movie I've seen for the past 15 years.
That's a very bold claim. You've seen Leprechaun. And
Yeah.
The Bleeder.
Yes, but this... I barely can call this a movie because the plot goes nowhere. There's basically... There is a plot, but there isn't really a plot because it feels like... It feels like they wanted to do Prometheus, but with no budget. Because the connection to the first movie is barely there. It feels like the war robot thing was just attached to the script last minute so they could slap the Moontrap name on the movie. And I can't even tell you what the fuck the movie is about, really. It's it's a train wreck. Don't watch the sequel. And I'm usually not very critical of low budget movies, as you guys know.
Yeah.
But this one is one to stay away from. It's I mean, if you have a wall with drying paint on it, go and sit and watch that instead of that movie.
Wow.
I think you'll get more enjoyment out of that than watch Moontrap Target Earth.
I feel that.
But yeah, that's everything I've watched. I think. Can't think of anything else. Should we roll the trailer?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is then.
I wonder what Mrs. Henshaw's gonna do now. Gonna need.
Now, I'm gonna break it up.
20 years ago, I was over and everybody else fucking their brains out. Sister Sophie, tell the new goats about serious.
It's April Fool's Day, and the Sisters of Sigma Alpha Pi have found the perfect place to throw a party. The abandoned fraternity house where a guillotined pledge lost his head in a hazing gone slightly wrong. But shortly after the revelry begins, the student body count starts to rise as the vengeful pledge returns from the grave and makes it a party to die for. Okay. Zombie, what did you think about Killer Party?
Well, it might have been due to my bit lack of attention to the movie, but sure there were like kills a bit early, like one, but at the same time it felt like the movie was very slow or very fast, and there was no in between because it was a party and suddenly everyone was just falling left and right by like being murdered simply put. Yeah, what else would they be? But yeah, it just felt like, where did she get the scuba suit? Like, sure, someone could have used it, but it felt very out of nowhere, and it felt,
Out of place?
yeah, it felt very out of nowhere. Like, sure, we had build up to it, but it felt like the build up was so little, and it felt like they could have done better build up than what they did, because it felt very meh build up.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of the build up was, ooh, creepy guy standing there, and the girl being like, I don't want to be here, it feels bad, and then being semi-possessed at one point, and then semi-possessed at another point, and then bodies dropping left and right, and the majority of them you don't see. And sure, they were not necessarily bad kills, but it feels just,
Well, the reason of the, you know, when everyone just starts to die one by one by one by one is because the this was a troubled shoot.
yeah.
And yeah, I will go a little bit into that in the background.
I feel like it is very noticeable if one says like, "This was a troubleshoot." I can see that. Like some movies, like it was a troubleshoot. Oh, really? It's such a good and clean movie. But this one, yeah, I can see that this was a troubleshoot because it feels like they had two themes of this random, unnamed killer being around, but you knew who it was. You knew. And the inherent need of being like an actual haunting thing. And I feel like, I don't know, it does work, but they didn't make it work, is the thing. So I wasn't necessarily a big fan of the movie, and me being bad with just remembering names and everything, I forgot who was who pretty fast.
Yeah,
And kept very bad.
Yeah, there are tons of characters in this one.
Yeah, like, there are so many characters and so many, like, relationship dynamics and whatnot that I barely recognized who was who by the time that the masquerade was in place. And it was like, okay, you're walking away with him. Wait, who are you? Oh, you're that person. Okay. And then, who are you? And what's your deal with that? I didn't see any relationship dynamic that you had that you're bringing up now. Like, what is going on? Like, half of the, like...
It's like they say,
Last half
too
of the
many
movie.
cooks makes a bad soup.
Yeah, like, it was a lot of characters in, like, Battle Royale, sure, and you had hard time recognizing some of them, but I feel like they made it work by killing off certain characters and not focusing on all of them, and like giving certain characters just more screen time and a very brief flashback if they wanted you to semi care about them.
Yeah, it was a lot of filler bodies essentially.
Yeah, but this felt like they tried to focus to all. It would be like if Battle Royale tried to focus on every like student there and try to make you semi care for all of them. It would not work.
We would be sitting with like a 5-hour long movie to try and care
Yeah.
about every character.
And like, I didn't care for like any of these characters, to be honest. That might have been my disinterest of the movie, and like just the college frat house dynamic that they had going, because I hate it, to be fair. I don't get that culture.
Me neither.
And
I think it's an American thing.
yeah, it's like some things like, that's American. I can semi get it. But this part of like that culture, I do not get at all. And how people like are willing to do these things to get into these places and do just gross things and just put people through gross things.
I mean, fucking eating a goat eye. Blech.
Yeah, and it feels like the stairway to like some gatekeeping shit. I don't know. So that threw me off like of the movie pretty fast, to be honest.
I feel that.
So so that may have been like my start off point of not caring about the characters, and then there just being so many made me care even less. And then it just felt like a jumbled mess at the end, so like who is dead, who is not dead? Okay, everyone's dead except the main girls. Okay. Sure.
Is that what
Like,
did
oh.
you be over already?
Like, oh, you were one of the main girls. Ah, I didn't know that. I thought you were one of the other ones. But you were you. I didn't recognize you.
Okay.
I feel that.
I didn't recognize you were that character. There were like very few distinct characters that you recognized
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
Can we just like recognize how ugly Jennifer's face were at one point? Where like, yes, she's possessed by a demon. Huh. So she makes this really ugly fucking face.
Yeah.
Like every 1980s horror movie ever where there's demons. Oh hey, pull up your ugliest fucking face and make a face at the camera. Like, okay then. Like, bruh.
That's fair. That's fair. It's part of its time, you know.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's the only way you can show a person being possessed, because possession is supposed to be this ugly thing, which it in this scenario it is. It understandably is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What rating do
it
you
just
get?
felt it felt focused on the wrong things at the wrong time. So I will give this a 2 out of 10 for me.
Oh, harsh. Harsh.
Very harsh.
Harsh.
Understand it, bro.
I'm just gonna say I do not like the college frat house thing at all. So that's where the majority of the downgrade comes from.
So,
Zombie. We were
Yeah.
bros.
Now you're just a hoe.
Yeah, we were hoes.
We were bros, but now we're just hoes.
Yeah. Blue, your thoughts, thanks.
I felt like this was kind of in the style of Black Christmas from 1974. I actually did enjoy it to a certain degree. It felt a little bit like Black Christmas and Freddy Krueger and Halloween. I was like, yeah, no, I can get down with this. Like, I'm vibing with this. Yeah, I can see why people are enjoying it. I didn't understand like the beginning of the movie. Like, when the fuck did this guy die? That's something that completely slipped
in
from me.
1964, I think it was. They are talking about it like 20 years ago this pledge died in that now abandoned fraternity house, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but like,
and he's buried in the backyard of the house
For some reason.
for no apparent reason.
Like, Screw the parents getting the body back.
Yeah.
He's a frat bro.
No, fuck
He
the
belongs.
Yeah, it
He
doesn't
lives
make
a-
any sense,
No,
but
it doesn't.
yeah.
He lives and dies by the
Uh,
frat house. He's gonna stay by the frat house.
I mean, what I was thinking is like, did we ever see when he died, or was that just completely
No.
left out?
No,
That was just something they talked about a lot.
yeah, they just talked about it.
Okay, then the movie makes more sense to me because I was like, when did we see this guy die? That is also a thing I had a problem with the movie is you don't get to see the kills. They're all off screen, which
Yeah, but you can tell that there were gore scenes in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like I think it sucks because I think if they had put in the actual like death scenes and the murders, the movie would be a little bit better.
Yeah, but it was because of the MPAA. The MPAA went berserk on like the Friday the 13th movies,
Yeah.
amongst others.
Um.
So the MPAA is to blame.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Like if
Fuck them.
I'm sorry. All I heard was them. Like, "Urgh." Okay. Yeah, no, it's just like I thought it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. There was too many characters. Definitely, like they could have lowered the amount of quote unquote main characters or whatever. I understand movies having like bodies where they want to kill off people. I can get behind that, but this one was very much like, oh, you have to keep in mind like this character and that character for the costume party part to actually make sense. And it was just too many people, too many names, too much to think about. And I actually physically fucking gagged during the movie. Where they are they're breaking eggs into the
Oh yeah.
pledge's
yeah.
mouth. It's like it was so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like nah, hard pass. I'm good. I rather not. I'd rather watch them eat fucking goat eyes again. Shows where my how I think.
Yeah, you didn't actually see the eye, so that weren't really
Yeah,
that bad because
yeah, it was definitely
They showed-
bad.
small balls.
Yeah.
They didn't like give them too much detail.
Yeah, but yeah, no. This is a 4 soft 5 out of 10 because I was actually enjoying the movie. It has its flaws, like every movie has. If they lowered the amount of like quote unquote main characters and made the like not as relevant characters much more like background characters, I could definitely see this movie being a solid 5, maybe even a 6. But yeah, no, like I enjoyed it. I definitely did. I'm picky with movies, but when it comes to like 1980s, I can definitely say that I do enjoy them better than a lot of other horror movies. And it's kind of like they say it was better before, like when it comes to horror movies, I 100% agree. I believe majority of horror movies were much better back in the day. So
There are a lot of shit from the 80s as well.
yeah, but
But most of that is, forgotten crap that no one
yeah,
has seen since 1982.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I didn't catch the start of the movie as far I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be about some hag hunting people. That was a movie. Okay.
And then it turned into a music video.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah, the beginning is really all over the place.
yeah. It was like, oh, okay.
That must be the longest fucking intro to any music video ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so it's a zombie flick. Okay, cool. I can get behind that. It's not.
And it was just one of those intros that's like, oh, it's a movie that it starts with.
Yeah.
Now it actually moves. Oh, this looks like a music video. What the hell? Wait, it is. What?
Yeah, because the choreography, how she like, oh no! Oh my god, it's gonna be one of those. Really? And then the ending of it, like, Twisted Sister. Nice.
It feels like such a weird intro for this movie.
It really felt so fucking weird and out of place and all over the place at the same time. It's like,
The band is called White Sister, by the way.
White Sister. Oh, I thought it
Yeah.
was Twisted Sister.
No, Twisted Sister is a bigger band.
Oh yeah, no, I know Twisted Sister. It's just I thought it was them. I was like,
Like, they could have started the whole thing with just the guy getting killed, and then be like, 20 years later.
Yeah, it could have made it simple, but no, they had to be going out over and what's it called?
Out of the
Over
way.
and beyond.
Yes.
Hmm.
Exactly. But yeah, no. What do you think about it?
Okay, so this was a rewatch for me. I saw it back in 2009 and I reviewed it on my old blog. And I didn't read my review until I had watched or rewatched the movie. And apparently I fucking hated it back in 2009.
Well, then, the 2009, you and I have something in common.
Well, I would have probably given it like 1 out of 10 back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't remember anything about it whatsoever. But I had in my mind that this was a really bad movie. I remember that I didn't like it back in the day, but I didn't remember why. So I went into the movie with pretty much zero expectations. So I was a bit surprised that I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. The movie in itself, as you guys already mentioned, is a complete mess. I mean, it starts off like a high school comedy.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a slasher movie for about 10 minutes. Like an hour or so into it. And then it turns into some hybrid between the Evil Dead and the Exorcist towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie is all over the place. I thought the acting was quite good as well. And I like the humor in it. It reminded me a lot of what's that one called? Cheerleader Camp, which came out 2 years later, I think. And I liked most of the characters as well, even though there were many of them that I liked most of them. And like you mentioned, Blue, the biggest downside with the movie is that it is heavily cut.
Yeah.
Which you can tell. And basically all of the gore is missing from the final film thanks to the MPAA, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's a big shame, because if the movie had all of the gore intact, I think this would have been even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've warmed up to the film, and I actually enjoyed it very much this time around. Like I said, it's a mess of a film,
Yeah.
but it worked somehow. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Hmm.
It's brainless entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's either a background movie or just something you put on when you don't know what to watch and you just want to watch.
Yeah,
anything.
it's a party movie.
Yeah.
Like you can sit down and watch it for 10 minutes and then walk away and then come back later and watch 10 minutes and it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
I was gonna say it's one of those movies you put on whenever you want to have sex with someone, but you don't really want it to be all quiet and shit.
Yeah, so you just put on this, so a movie that you don't really care about, and you know you won't get like
Yeah,
trapped.
yeah,
in
like you
watching
won't
it.
be invested.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I get so hard when I hear screaming in the background.
You don't?
I mean, fuck's sake, apparently my ex got hard to watch fucking Alien, so I mean,
What?
yeah, it's like, we're gonna watch a movie, and I was like, oh, you have Alien too? Fuck yeah, let's watch that. This is such a good movie. Bro, I want to watch the movie, I don't want to have sex right now. Like, come on. This is not... Some people are not... No, they're not cultivated. No, it's one of those movies like you definitely put it
Yeah,
on in the
yeah.
background. I could definitely see this to be like, oh, I'm gonna have a party. We're not really gonna listen to music, but I put this on the TV, so it's a background noise. And if someone doesn't really have anything to do, you can just sit down and watch it and like, eh. And
Yeah.
as I said, like if you come back 10 minutes into the movie, or you leave the movie in the middle and come back 10 minutes later, you haven't really missed anything.
You're definitely not gonna miss anything because this is not gonna make sense even if you watch it from start to finish. So
No.
you might as well go talk to some friends, get a drink, and come back.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't really root for any characters to survive it either. It's like, oh, they're dead. Cool. Next.
Like, they didn't really have a final girl. They had two people, and like, that's too many.
Yes.
It would make sense if one of them like got lost, and then she was like, "I'm gonna make it by myself," and like, the fact that they didn't leave, sure, they were looking for their friend, but at the same time, like, you had every chance to leave.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, one had the sentimental part where like, oh no, it's still my friend. I have to help her, and then it's like, oh well, fuck. No, she's possessed.
And I felt like the sentimental friend could just as well have like died to prove the other girl's point, and making her more determined to survive and not fall for her things.
Yeah. But no. Yeah.
Like, rather than her getting possessed,
Yeah.
you know. And they could have done this whole thing like, is it really ending? Because they could have shown the final girl just as she's like making it out of there to show that she's possessed now or something.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it would have been like kind of meh ending, but it still would have made it like more interesting than what it was. It wasn't necessarily a extremely bad ending, but at the same time it could have been better.
It definitely could have
There was
been
room
better.
for improvement.
Oh yeah.
I kind of liked the ending because of the dark, ironic twist to it. I'm a sucker for those type of endings. So
Yeah. It's not easy having bad taste in endings.
speak for yourself. Do we have anything else we wanna talk about?
No, I don't think so. I can't really think about anything.
No, I can't really think of like anything else that I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
So Killer Party is a good popcorn flick and Zombie is
Yeah.
wrong.
It is a good popcorn flick. I will agree with that. I still think it sucks ass, but it's a good popcorn flick. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it. I can't like have it on for shits and giggles.
Alright, should we go into background then?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The US and Canada gross was about $680,000. I couldn't find any numbers for the budget. It was shot in October of 1984, but it was shelved until 1986. And when it was released, the title was changed from The April Fools to Kill a Party because the distributors feared that it would be confused with Paramount's film April Fool's Day, which also was released around the same time, as well as Slaughter High, which also was supposed to be called April Fool's Day.
Yeah, a lot of movies with the same title.
Yeah, in the same year.
Yeah.
It's kind of bruh.
Yeah. It was also advertised as Fool's Night for a brief period after filming was complete. Professor Cedo is named after Josef Cedo, who directed Friday the 13th, the final chapter, part 4. Which was also written by the same guy who wrote Killer Party, which was Barney Cohen. And Barney Cohen wrote the script as a straightforward slasher, but director William Fruet wasn't particularly interested in making a violent horror film, and infused more comedy into the script while filming. The film was subject to frequent rewrites during production, and the final product was much different from the original intended version. The film suffered severe cuts by the MPAA, and as a result, most of the murders occur off camera and feature little to no gore or violence, like we already talked about. And because of this, the filmmakers edited the film in such a way in that the murders seem to happen immediately after each other in quick succession. When the film was originally shot, more time had passed between each murder, like a standard slasher movie.
Yeah.
And they included special effects and on-screen violence. And last thing I got is Sherry Willis Birch, who played Vivia. I think she was one of the last girls standing.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think she was the nerdy one, right?
Yeah.
She also played a naive sorority girl in another college-set slasher, which is Final Exam from 1981. Have you guys seen that one?
No, never heard of it.
No.
Okay. I've
Have
seen
you?
it. Yeah, I've seen it once, and I got it on Blu-ray, but I can't remember much about it. I think it's okay. Need to rewatch it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have it on the podcast
Yeah,
at some point.
maybe.
Most likely.
Okay. Have you guys any final thoughts?
Not really.
I really wish that they had stuck with like the slasher thing. I don't mind that they would have implemented more humor in it, because like some slashers do have more humor and slasher as well, but yeah, and the cuts really did make the whole thing go from like 0 to 100 real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt like someone was speeding up and It's like
Yeah.
speeding up the movie, and then go back to normal speed and speed it up, and normal
Like,
speed.
I know slow burns exist in a lot of movies, but this went from like 0 to 100 on a different level than other slow burns, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really wish that they would have like at least released a version, like maybe straight to DVD or something that wasn't cut as heavily or cut at all.
The cut material might be lost to time, unfortunately. I
Yeah.
know that I think it's Scream Factory at least, has put it out on Blu-ray. I don't know what the extras are though, but I know
Yeah.
Scream Factory has put out other movies which had cut footage, which was believed to be lost into time. But they managed to dig up the uncut footage and put it on
Yeah.
Blu-ray. So
No, I was gonna say, at the time it would have been like straight to VHS.
Yeah, because like at what because it feels very it's very apparent that it's badly cut because at one point there's this scuba diver or whatever go around killing people and suddenly everyone's dead out of nowhere and then the girl is possessed.
Yeah.
Like
It feels kind of like at that moment that it would have been a massive, like, a massacre right there where she, in the costume, would kill maybe 5 people at the same time.
yeah.
And it's just like, it's so out of left field with the way they're cutting it and the way they changed the script that, it goes from, everything is fine. Whoops! 10 people died over there.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like did Martin die at one point because he left with another girl to like
Yeah.
because everyone was drunk? Did they die? It wasn't shown, so they just disappeared off screen. Like some people were just left hanging dry because
Yeah, I think the moral
Cut.
of the
No, sorry.
story is excessive cutting will ruin a movie to a certain degree.
yeah, and make it like very jumbled.
Yeah.
I don't think the MPAA cares about that.
No, they really
No,
don't.
they only care about themselves, if even that.
Debatable.
Hmm.
Okay.
but yeah. I think it's really just unfortunate that it had to happen to this
Yeah.
movie
Yeah, I
because
agree.
it could have been better. Like not
I think it's unfortunate for all the movies that have been cut.
yeah. Some make it work. Some simply are so heavily scrutinized that there's no returning.
I mean,
like
it
this
kind of
one.
feels like they castrate the movie the way they're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Is that it's what do you say, PSA? Or what was they called, Joseph?
MPAA.
Yeah, are they still a thing or?
I think MPAA still exists, but they don't. I think they loosen up on the cutting violence and sex and stuff in movies. But the 80s was another time, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had the whole Video Nasties debacle in the UK and the censorship debacle here in Sweden during the 80s.
They had a censorship in Sweden. What?
Yes, they cut movies to shreds here up until like the early 90s.
Huh.
Yeah, they cut movies so heavily that someone made
For-
a movie about them cutting movies so heavily.
Yeah, the Evil Ed, yeah.
Yeah.
For example, The Evil Dead, the original movie from 1981. The first release of that movie in Sweden was cut with, I think it was 12 minutes.
Yeah.
the last 30 minutes doesn't make any sense from what I've heard. I've never seen that version of the movie, but yeah. There's been movies that has been banned in Sweden as well. For example, Death Wish 3.
Alright. I actually had no idea about that.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was banned as well in Sweden.
I believe I knew that one actually.
Yeah.
Because I know like some movies that were banned, but not like by far not all of them.
It would have been a pretty small market if all horror movies got banned in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually be what we in the business call a bra moment. It's a bra, really.
Then you got movies like Inseminoid, which we have covered. That one got heavily cut in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
I actually owned the or one of the VHS releases of that film.
Alright.
And Nightmare City and City of the Living Dead, Zombie Flesh Eaters. A lot of Italian movies got heavily cut in Sweden.
I mean, I don't blame them for the Italian movies being cut, because some of them are really fucking gruesome. But
Yeah.
but still, it's a bit of a gut punch with the amount of movies they're like cutting to pieces.
Yeah, well, most of them you can watch uncut nowadays, unless unless they've
Been
been
lost.
been produced by a larger company like Paramount.
Yeah.
Most of the footage that has been cut has, got destroyed over time, or been lost.
Yeah.
But I think that is about it.
Yeah, I believe so too. Don't think that there's much more to talk about.
All right, we are playing out with White Sister, April, You're No Fool, which is the song that plays in the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what will the next episode be, Zombie?
Yeah. Next episode will be my pick, and for this time, considering I had to change it, not pointing any fingers, we are gonna be watching Hush from 2016.
Ooh, nice.
Oh. The
Yeah.
home invasion.
Yes, that one.
Okay.
I think it's about a deaf woman.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I watched it shortly after it was released. It's gonna be interesting going back watching.
Yeah.
Alright.
I like the trailer, so
Yeah.
I haven't watched it personally, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's good going in with a clean slate. But yeah. Goodbye, good people.
Goodbye.
I didn't even get the chance to say the phrase, but okay.
No, screw the phrase.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh well. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we'll hear from you in the next episode.
And while waiting for that one, why not watch some of the earlier episodes?
Or listen to them.
Yeah, that
both.
too. Mostly that. That works.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.